Hey everybody, welcome to my low carb keto tamale video. This recipe is a replacement for the high carb masa in tamales. You need to prepare your meat prior to starting. Use any kind of spicy shredded meat that you want. I don't recommend using cheese and chili because this is a fathead based dough, and the cheese might melt back into the dough, but to each their own. Let's get started. Okay, so you want to mix all the dry ingredients together and get all of those lumps out as much as you can. You want to make sure it's all incorporated before you add any wet ingredients to make sure that it's evenly distributed, the baking powder and the psyllium husk. The fat I'm going to use is olive oil, and I've added my corn extract to the olive oil. Traditionally people use lard, but I don't have any lard and I don't really like the idea of lard, so I've made tons of traditional tamales and I've always used olive oil. Comes out great. Now I'm going to add the boiling broth, and it's important that it's very, very hot so it activates the psyllium husk powder. And this broth is left from when I cooked the pork that I'll be using in the tamales. You just kind of mix it up until it's all nice and smooth. It's going to seem really wet at first, but as that psyllium husk powder starts to expand, it'll start looking more like traditional masa. If you've ever made tamales, traditional tamales, you know that the masa should look like thick peanut butter so that you can spread it in. All right. So this is all incorporated. Now I'm going to melt my cheese and add it in, and it'll be a thicker dough than what you're used to seeing for tamales, but that's okay. These are low carb and it has to be that way. They will taste delicious. So I'll be back with that cheese in just a second. Okay, so here's the melted cheese. This is 4 cups of mozzarella, and I put it in the microwave for about a minute and then mixed it up and put it for another 30 seconds on high, but now it's a little bit hot, so I'll have to stir it for a minute until I can handle it and mix it into the dough. So you'll need this for a couple of minutes until it's all pretty uniform like this. It's going to be a stretchy, elastic dough. Not like traditional Masa Harina, but it's important that you kind of get it to be uniform like this. And it should look like dough. Okay, next we're gonna fill the tamales. With this recipe, I've planned to make 20 tamales. So I'm gonna divide the dough into 20 even-sized balls, just so that, so I can make sure I get all of them that I want. So I'm gonna divide the first ball of dough into 2 and then into 4, and then go from there. You get the idea. Dough. Okay, so you won't be able to spread this out like you can with traditional tamales, so you need to kind of flatten it out with your hand. Add a couple tablespoons of whatever meat you prepared. I don't measure exactly. It is important to make sure that you don't add too much though, or else you won't have room to roll your tamale. There should be at least an inch on each side. So I'm just gonna push this over, make sure the dough is sealed on all sides. Fold it up, continue rolling. There's some dough on the outside. Try to ignore that. And then tie it up. Try that again. Roll it and tie it up so that the tamale keeps its shape when you're steaming it. Like this. It's been a while since I've made tamales because, well, they're not keto friendly, but this year I decided to try these. And you have a gorgeous little tamale, and you just keep doing this until all 20 are done. We'll just do that one more time so that everybody can see. Just be flattening it out like that. There we go. Some meat in the middle. These are smaller tamales than, I used to make pre-keto. That's okay. I'm going to tear off this piece to use for a tie. And flip it up like that. And tie it. Now, you might think this is a lot of trouble to go through for a meal, and it is. But if you miss tamales like I miss tamales, then you'll be willing to do it. Or bribe your kid to do it, I don't know. See you then. Okay, here they are in the pot, and we're gonna start steaming them. See, it works just fine to have with the pie tin in there with them. We'll steam them for 75 minutes, making sure that the water doesn't run dry. Check it, I don't know, every 20 minutes or so. And then okay, so we have ended up steaming these tamales for probably about 90 minutes, but I live at high altitude. Everything takes longer to cook. I think if you steam these on medium or high for 75 minutes at 3,000 feet or below, it'll be just fine. And this is what they look like. I have tasted them and they're pretty delicious. I wouldn't try to open them up right out of the steamer because it is a fathead based dough, a cheese based dough. So if they're super hot, they're kind of melty. But you can definitely take them out of the wrapper and heat them back in the microwave. You can keep them in the freezer, or you can just eat them warm. They are delicious. Look at that. See? It It looks like a tamale. I'm not going to tell you it tastes exactly like a tamale, but it's pretty close. So thank you for watching.